What's up guys, it's Manga Time once again, here to bring you my review of Naruto 707, A Genetic Slave. I'm sorry I didn't do a Naruto review last week, I was super busy and just didn't get time. I had to prioritise Bleach over everything else. But we're back now, and we're back with a colour page. And a pretty good chapter actually, with a pretty crazy twist at the end, if I'm honest. But it starts off with Shin and his clone lying, on the operating table, basically an operating table. And we got a rather grim picture of the inside of his body, which is lovely. And basically, the bad guy, Shin, with the messed up eye and the bald head, he's like, don't get me wrong, the kid is my clone. He has the same DNA as I do, and he's my spare parts, basically, which obviously doesn't go down very well with Sakura. And there's loads of clones, and then basically he uses them as his spare body parts, which is kind of nasty. And he's like, and Sakura's like, you treat your clones like this. You're not even Orochimaru. But how could you do this? And then Orochimaru is this guy's teacher, apparently. But before that, we get an awesome colour page. Seriously, there's one thing Kishi does a million times better than Kubo, and that is colour pages. Like, it's so dynamic. There's so much going on. He colours the background and everything. It looks bloody amazing. Must take him an age. We've got Bolt. Or Sarada, and we've also got Mitsuki, who looks really cool actually in this picture, really cool. Yeah, that's great. And honestly, it makes me think this Gaiden's going to go on for longer than I thought, because it says, a start of a new era and all this sort of thing. I think Jump probably want this to go on for a while. But anyway, Shin basically says he's actually Orochimaru's old experiment in order to perform a clone technique, which presumably is something akin to Kagebunshin. I think that's actually mentioned later on. And, Sakura's like, he's a truly heartless snake. And basically all the little guys were made from cultivating this one Shin's teeth and nerves. And we see that he actually doesn't have any teeth, which is nasty. And he's like, one could say they exist for me to actually have flesh, and they're stock to be used as flesh. Nothing more or less than that. And then basically we go over to Naruto and Sasuke, and basically, he can't pick up Sakura's chakra. And Naruto basically decides to make the move to go to Orochimaru to find out if he knows anything about this guy, and Sasuke agrees because the bad guy's Shin had Sharingan embedded in his arm, similarly to Danzo, and Danzo's ones were given to him by Orochimaru also. So basically, Naruto decides to go to the hideout, and they decide to take the kids with them because they think it'll probably be safest for them, which I think is interesting, but basically, Sakura is apparently sad, and Shin is like, there's no reason to be sad. Living things are meant to die. And this guy goes on this big kind of monologue about how humans are cheating death by reproducing and multiplying. And basically, he says, what exactly is death? And this guy is going on and on about this. And he talks about the relationship between parent and child. And, he says, all we're doing is creating a stronger breed. And he goes on for quite a while about this thing about human evolution. And it's actually quite a deep speech. It's talking about, as we've become more evolved, we've become more efficient at evolving and reproducing and cheating death. And basically he says that's true of ninjas as well, isn't it? And he says, only the strongest ninjas are chosen. War is essential if people are to evolve, and that's why Akatsuki exists. So apparently this guy believes that Akatsuki exists to bring about war, to weed out the weak, and, continue the strong, and allow humanity to evolve. So this guy clearly believes that Akatsuki is here for the evolution of humanity, which is quite interesting. He's a sort of noble belief by this guy, but basically Sakura's like, you're even stupider than Orochimaru. So we then get to what I think is Orochimaru's hideout, and Yamato is there. And apparently he can't leave the spot. Basically they decide to sneak in, because obviously Sasuke knows the place from when he killed Orochimaru way back. So basically, yeah, they all walk in, and they actually find Suigetsu and Jugo, which is cool, from way back when. And basically Sasuke's like, lead us to Orochimaru's hideout. We actually see Orochimaru come walking in, looking kind of weird actually. He's got like really short hair. I think it's actually in a ponytail. But he looks more like a girl than ever. And, he's like, I can't believe you came to visit me of your own accord, Sasuke. Good. And Orochimaru has always been one of my favourite characters in the series. He's definitely one of the best characters in the series. And Naruto's like, how'd you get so young? And basically, I love the explanation. Orochimaru is so like Mayuri from Bleach. I love that the explanation is just like, you should know because it's me, and that's it. That's literally it. Don't worry your pretty little head over every tiny detail. And basically, Orochimaru's like, who could these children be? And I think it's interesting. He doesn't quite. I don't think it's interesting. He doesn't clock that it's Sasuke's kid straight away. But you know, Sasuke's like, your underling is trying to kill my child and harm my wife. If you're planning something, now's the time to spill about it. And Orochimaru's like, did I do something suspicious? And basically, Orochimaru does know who the man is with the Sharingan embedded all over his body. He takes him into a laboratory, and we see one of the little Shins floating in a stasis tube. And basically, interestingly, this guy is not a member of the Uchiha clan. He was fascinated by Itachi, so he's basically like a crazy fan. And yeah, he left Orochimaru's side, and apparently, the child became Danzo's right arm. So basically, Danzo was using the DNA, the same DNA that is used in Shin, which is quite interesting. And we then kind of, basically, it's another big explanation where Orochimaru states that, you know, the Kagabunshin is, basically, this guy is a shadow clone, but taken to a whole nother level. It's a shadow clone, but each of them are technically their own original individual. And so basically Orochimaru says, you know, it's a shadow clone that never truly disappears. And basically Orochimaru says the only way to make him disappear is to kill him completely, which I thought probably was fairly obvious. But yeah, basically Sarada decides to get hold of Suigetsu. While Naruto and Sasuke are dealing with Orochimaru, they're basically saying, you know, will you help us? And Orochimaru's like, if Konoha will take this guy off my hands, yeah, that's fine, I'll help you. And basically, Sarada finds Suigetsu, shows him a picture of, you know, Sasuke with Karin, etc. And she says, you know, what room is this woman in? And Suigetsu says she's in a different hideout, she's not here at the moment. And then basically, Suigetsu takes her to her hideout. It's quite funny, he's like, you know, Sasuke's not that much of a scumbag, as to sleep with Karin as well. But, he then decides, you know, it might be possible. And basically, Suigetsu then takes a bit of the DNA off Sarada, puts it in a machine, and holy crap, we have a match. That's mental. You know, Suigetsu's like, your mother is none other than Karin, which is crazy. And Naruto's listening outside the room with a look on his face that either says, crap, she probably shouldn't have found that out, or crap, I knew all along. Now, I'm not sure which one it is, but Sarada is obviously like going mental, and she's like crying. Well, she's not going mental just yet, but she's crying her eyes out. And Suigetsu says what we've all been thinking. He's like, you know, even your glasses are a bit like, and then he's just like, oh well, actually I'll just go. And Karin's obviously, no, not Karin, Sarada's getting really angry, and he walks out and he's like to Naruto, he's like, maybe I did something not so good. And Naruto's like, you're always butting your own business, and Sasuke's like, you're the only one at fault. And now, interestingly, Suigetsu asks Naruto if he knew about this, and Naruto does actually say there's no way I could have known, presumably because they weren't friends at the time. But Suigetsu just bails, which I thought was quite funny. But Naruto tries to get Sarada to leave, but Sarada tries to take it out on him. She's like, you know, the seventh is a liar. Why should I go and help someone who isn't even my mother? I kept quiet for so long, I don't know anything about anyone anymore. And she starts, you know, the Sharingan appears again. I actually noticed this time. And basically, she's going mental. She's raging out. And I presume, like, maybe she'll activate another bit of her Sharingan now this really kind of crazy, sad event has happened to her. But that's it for this week's chapter, guys. I love the twist at the end. I thought it was really well executed. And I love seeing Orochimaru as well. Basically, there's a lot of nice plot development this week. We found out more about Shin. We discovered what he is. He was an experiment of Orochimaru, who became like a proper, you know, living Kagabunshin clone. And who's a crazy fan of Itachi. Having said that, it kind of limits the scope of the arc, so maybe this arc's not actually going to be that long. If this Shin guy is the only villain around, but again, he might not be. But if he is the only villain, that really does limit the scope, because it just means he's acting on his own. There's no Akatsuki or anything like that. But, you know, having said that, I still thought it was a really good chapter. I'm going to give it a 9. I really like the interactions in this week's chapter. I love seeing Orochimaru again. That was great. And like I said, the twist at the end was pretty insane. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this week's chapter. Did you like the twist? Do you like the fact that Sakura's not actually her mum and Sasuke's kind of going around being a bit of a player? Let me know in the comments below, guys. And yeah, basically that was it. Did you like seeing Orochimaru again? And yeah, Let me know in general what you think of the Gaiden and where it's heading, and whether or not the scope has been limited by the fact that Shin's basically identity has been revealed. But that's it, guys. Please subscribe to my videos. I'd super appreciate it. I won't be missing any more Naruto chapters. I'll be doing them every week. But yeah, so guys, that'd be awesome if you could subscribe with this video, a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. But until next week, guys, see ya.